Yes, we're by FJTV. So firstly, I got food cooking, so if you hear anything, that's what that is. But for this video, I know I said in the last one, show don't tell, but to stay on that train of thought, one of the videos I got coming up, the nightly routine, goes hand in hand with the semen retention, eliminate lust, eliminate the wet dreams, because let's be honest, that's something that's going to nuke your streak of however many days, weeks, months, whatever that you're on. And I'll go through a few things in that video. There's also a video detailing some stretches that kind of goes alongside that, but is more geared towards just overall well-being as well. But again, like I said in that last video, show don't tell, a little note to myself. But for the purpose of this one, as is always the case, I had a couple of weeks no content, is what it is, was a little bit ill. I work in a gym, I'm constantly exchanging money, touching weights, other people are touching the weights, the machines, this, that. It was almost bound to happen when I'm not on the highest vibration that I could have potentially been on. However, putting that to one side, kind of the thought process for this video, for context, today's a Friday, I get Fridays off for my, wage slave day job. However, utilising my time, still got to train, still got to stretch, still got my nightly routine, still got an opportunity to make content, no excuses. And kind of the theme for this video as well, we don't negotiate with terrorists, aka I'm not negotiating with myself. There's no negotiating with certain tasks that must be done. Yeah, don't debate yourself. Don't even have it intellectual kind of, oh, if I do this and then if I do this because I've got to do this later. Bro, certain things have to be done through the day. I'm the first one to hold my hands up and say, I sometimes don't even stick to that, or I haven't in the past, or I haven't this year, and it's nearly 2026, okay, in human years, but we're still living these human experiences, aren't we, through these avatars, through your specific POV. But again, quickly for the point of the video, I said to myself today, cool, I had a PT one-to-one pad session with someone, so using the Muay Thai pads, letting people fucking blast elbows. I got a belly shield on, people are smashing knees through it. Obviously, yeah, I was going to make a joke, say, yeah, big boy firm in it, but, part of the job. So cool, said to myself, try and be productive, get some stuff done at home, go to the gym. And it's so funny because as soon as I've switched my mentality, especially this week, but in the last couple of weeks, kind of building myself back up, because as I was saying, I felt a little bit ill for a couple of weeks, like I said, working in a gym, it was kind of bound to happen. So I was getting over that, still training, still doing what I had to be doing, neglecting the content a little bit, it is what it is, because I prefer to have good quality videos. However, like I said, show don't tell. There's a million and one things I can and will talk about, but let me not drag that on. And second, I stepped foot in the gym straight away, because I'm already in this, high vibration mentality. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna train someone, get some money on my day off, so I'm up money for the day. Didn't spend a penny today because I track everything, and I'll get to that. Yeah, I track everything I eat, what I do in the entirety of the day. Have I done my training? Have I done all my protocols? All the things I have to stick to, like I said, non-negotiables. And then every penny that I spend, I track it all. Yeah, it's just how I like to live my life and how I like to do things. Whether that changes in the future, it is what it is, yeah, but cool. Like I said, as soon as I walk in the gym, straight away, see somebody who's like, yes, Josh, and I'm literally holding the Thai boxing pads. Yeah, man, let me get a quick one in with you. What time's your client in? Yeah, let's do a quick one. Like, yeah, sweet, jump in. I was going to warm myself up anyway. It's like before even starting, straight away, man's passing me £20. It's like, yeah, hold that. And I'm thinking, right, I'd have done it just for the love of the game, yeah? Just because I'm there anyway. I was going to do a little bit of a warm-up. My mum was to help me get my heart rate up by, hitting the pads a little bit. It is what it is, yeah. Then my client comes, boom, do that session. So that's 2 sessions done. Up the money for the day. Go on the heavy bag, get a little quick 30 minutes blasting. Then I drive home, go for a quick run around the block. Because again, I said to myself, there's no negotiating. I'm going for a run today. Even though I didn't even have a concrete distance or destination. I mean, the destination's home. I can go and come back, yeah. But straight away, I was just laughing in my own brain. I'm like, this is how it goes, bro. The second I do what I need to be doing, no negotiating, yeah. Extra money. I literally doubled my money for the day. That wasn't even in, what I mean? Didn't even think about it. And that's part of the manifestation, yeah. Don't need to dwell on it, into like overly like, what I mean? meditate on what you want. Feel the feelings, mind, body and soul, yeah, however you want to quantify it, yeah, but visualize it in your third eye, close these eyes, focus on your mind's eye, visualize what you want, full inhalation and exhalation with the proper meditation, feeling these energies in your lungs and your heart space, yeah, feel it in your guts as well, yeah, the feelings and the emotions of it happening right here, right now, and that you're grateful for it, yeah. I'll have to do a separate video going through all of that sort of stuff, but the same way right now, I'm sat in my own little flat. Yeah, sometimes I'll speak about it negatively, but that's something I keep reminding myself I don't need to be doing, yeah, for one thing. But also, same way, there was a time when I didn't have my own place, and I kept saying every morning, I'm so happy and grateful I now live in my own place and my own space. So the second I got the keys for this place, and the first night I stood in here, I almost had to hold back tears of joy and hold back laughter, as I'm like, oh, I'm so happy and grateful I now live in my own place and my own space, yeah. For some people that get lost on them, they'll be like, it's not that deep, bro. Oh, yeah, it's bound to happen, bro. Yeah, you just got to get your money up. And brrr. If you saw how I was living at certain points in my life, bro, people wouldn't even get it. They couldn't even fathom the visceral, physical feeling of being in a certain, literally feel like I'm in a dungeon, bro, yeah. But that's part of the point, isn't it? And that's one of my older videos, not to big it up or whatever, shameless plug. But it's overriding the dungeon programming. Every single day, waking up and following out kind of a blueprint you've already accidentally set yourself, following the guidelines of the matrix, if you like, going along with society, running around in that hamster wheel, and every night you go to bed and you're wishing for something else, and if I just did this, and if I just did it, and you wake up the next day and do it all again, and then nothing changes because nothing has changed, because you haven't changed anything and you haven't changed yourself, so nothing is going to change. And I know I'm preaching to the choir. I'm nearly at 10 minutes. My food will be ready soon. But straight away, and again, to stay in all that train of thought, like I said, I'm going to do the video for the nightly routine for one thing, but I've been sticking to it, bro, yeah. And the same way, I didn't even do a No Nut November video for this year. I was kind of intended to in the back of my mind, but at the end of the day, I was like, semen retention is semen retention, bro. Either you know or you don't know, and you need to get to know. You know what I'm saying? And I know I've made plenty of content, and I'll continue to talk about it. But for me, I feel like I'm slowly getting, you know, let me say it properly. I am getting to that next phase, which I thought was kind of starting earlier in the year. So it technically has, but it hasn't. When I broke my celibacy after over 2 years, 2 years and 4 months, no pussy, bruv, yeah? In my mid-20s, bruv. Imagine that. Last time I broke my celibacy before that streak. New Year's 2023. So it's now the 1st of January 2023. From that day, while being extremely hungover, and you want to talk about game, with little miss that I spent the night with, getting her to drive me home, so I saved on the Uber. I would have paid for it, but she offered, so there you go. And then from there I said to myself, celibacy and all the other things that I wanted to get done that year. And then, not to drag on this video, because if you know, you know, bro. Yeah, the fucking emotional and life roller coaster this life experience has been. However, same way I'm still here in the flat in big 2025, almost big 2026. So that's no longer my reality. And like I said, all the nonsense that happened, that I've got over and whatever, putting that to one side. But the point, like I said, the celibacy streak, all through that time, and especially when I was at my lowest points, I remember saying it to a couple of people, and I'm making a joke about it, but I'm like, bruv, like, I wouldn't mind a bit of pussy right now, but then ain't gonna fix my problems, then ain't gonna put petrol in my car, then ain't gonna put money in the bank. It can, if you know how to sort of play the game. And I won't get too deep on that tangent. However, story for another day. But just in terms of like the physical, that's why I was saying semen retention and the celibacy and retaining that energy. No wet dreams, no kind of edging beyond closed door and thinking, as long as I don't go over the edge, but I can still look at these pixels, and obviously if I don't tell anyone, I don't say anything on YouTube. Yeah, lying to yourself, negotiating with a terrorist, like a little demon on your shoulder, bruv. Yeah, a little whispering in your ear. I know there's a few different tangents, it is what it is. I got caffeine in my system. Anytime I kind of freestyle these videos, that's how it goes. That's nearly 10 minutes, that'll probably do for today's video. But as I'm saying, man, the point Don't negotiate with yourself. Set yourself the tasks and fucking do them, bro. I know how it feels, and I know it's difficult, and I know, bro, any possible thought that's going to cross your mind when somebody says that. And I know there's a million other motherfuckers saying it as well, and a million other fucking YouTube channels. These X amount of videos, subscribers, all of that. That's them, man. Yeah. Keep reminding myself, this is literally me talking to myself, even though the person watching this, in whatever blip in time, different part of the map, because we're all connected to a higher power. However, talking to myself when I watch this back in a future point to chop it up for the shorts like I do, you know what you need to be doing, and it's always the case. And every time I do what I need to be doing, everything enacts and plays out exactly the way arguably it was going to play out anyway, but of course it would. And to just not over articulate at that point, but if I stick to a certain path, it always plays out the way it would have played out. If I say, if I do this and I do this and I do this, it's a compound effect. Shout out to my brother for putting me onto the book. And again, I don't want to drag this one on. Like I said, point was just today, I was like, it's so funny. The second I say to myself, you know what, high vibration, get some shit done, go do a bit of, you know, working for myself, another little side hustle, whatever, still doing what I enjoy, because it's still geared around the combat sports, get my own training in, and then it's straight away, more money attracts to me. I'll do a separate video talking about ism, game and women and that, but the point that I didn't really finish that tangent, and I know what I'm like, I know when I watch this back, I'll be like, didn't finish that point, whatever, I'll do that in another video. However, as I mentioned, the celibacy, yeah, when I broke in April this year, and I got this phone, this brand new iPhone 16e that I'm recording this video on, yeah, and that's game, bro. That ain't no this or that. That's because I said to myself, the whole point of this celibacy streak, like I said back a day, that was for 2 years and 4 months. I didn't even want to do it for that long. I was like, yeah, let me do 12 months solid and on the semen retention. And then life was like, oh yeah, catch this big man. Oh, you have this issue, get over that hurdle. Here's another thing for you, yeah. But then, like I said, and I promised, I said to myself when I started the streak, when I break this celibacy streak and the semen retention streak, but celibacy specifically, it will be financially viable. So then I got a new phone, I got a treat for my birthday. I don't want to drag it on too much. The video's on the channel anyway, yeah. One of my highest viewed long form videos like this. And that was the point, and I always remind myself, because I stuck to my promise, because I didn't negotiate with the terrorist, the little, you know, it happened, it manifested, shock horror, no shit, of course, because it was always going to happen, because I was always going to stick to it, yeah. That'll do, steps any purpose, let's go.